Wrap me in a bolt of lightning, send me on my way still smiling. Maybe that's the way I should go, straight into the mouth of the unknown. I left the spare key on the table, I never really thought I'd be able to say I merely visit on the weekends. I lost my whole life and a dear friend. I've said it so many times.
So Shawn, what does a self-scout look like from a special teams coach's perspective? Like, what kind of stuff did you look at during some of this time off as far as your own team?
Yeah, I mean, we just looked at I looked at each phase kind of from where we were at from the bye week until now, because we'd done a self-scout, through the bye week and stuff. So just took a look at our calls and in each phase and just alignments and different things that we can look at, see if there were any tendencies, things we need to change up with alignments or some techniques and things. But you just kind of took a look at each phase and look for any major tendencies.
I know you're not a finished product or anything, but what do you think the key's been to your late season success? I mean, you look at the kickoff coverage has been really good. Obviously, the return games have gotten a lot better. What do you see in there?
I think just our guys growing within the system. There's been some consistency with our personnel. There's been a few injuries here and there, but I think it was a revolving door at the beginning of the season, and now we've kind of had some guys settle into roles, and they've learned kind of what we're trying to do and what we're teaching them to do. And then obviously in the return game, I think Tyler's been really important. We're blocking better for him, but he's definitely a threat back there and has done a really good job for us. So I think it's just young guys growing and getting better, and then obviously he's definitely a threat back there in the return game.
For a lot of weeks, you kept telling us that you guys are doing all the right things in the practice field. So what gave you the confidence that you'd get here? I mean, what sort of things did you see at practice that maybe weren't showing up on Sundays but are now?
I think just the techniques. I mean, guys were understanding what they're trying to do, and in the beginning, you've only got so much time through the spring and OTAs and those kind of things, and it takes a while for guys to understand exactly what you're trying to do with the drills and just the whole setup and how we're trying to do things have improved. I mean, I could see that getting better each week, just the technique and the understanding, and guys are playing hard. It was just a matter of just getting the opportunities and making the most of those as the season went on.
So how are you adjusting everything involved with the kicking game in cold weather? Balls don't travel quite as far, you got to cover a little quicker, those kind of adjustments you're going to have to make in cooler weather.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely night game in Lambeau and stuff, in early January. The ball's definitely not. We plan on covering all the kickoffs and the punts and stuff, trying to hang the ball up with great direction and stuff. But our guys know they're going to have to be ready to cover, and obviously we're going to try to have great direction and as much hang time as we can in kickoffs and on the punts and things. But we're prepared to cover, and you guys know that mentally going in that the ball's not going to travel out of the back of the end zone and those kind of things, and they'll be bringing them out, so they'll be prepared to cover for each phase.
Decision has yet to be made on Raven, but if he is able to come back for you, I know he was a big part of, I'm sure, what you had hoped to have coverage wise and whatnot. So if he is able to come back, what kind of potential addition is he?
Just another good player. I mean, he was an important part of what we were doing early in the season, as a PP and, just on the coverage units and, in the return game and things. I mean, he was a good player for us. That's why we start on 4 phases, and we're always excited to have 4-phase guys come back for us and stuff. And he's a good young player. I'm excited what his future is going to be, and you just want to see where he's progressing at and just see how that all plays out as far as the numbers go and those kind of things and stuff. But, we'd welcome him back with open arms. We'd love to have him back.
With Tyler, obviously things started well, and not that there was a turnover with the mishandled kick, but what does that say, or what do you learn about a guy who's kind of new, who's having success, and then I'm sure he would want to handle everything perfectly. So what did you see out of him, and did you see any waiver in confidence, or what does that kind of tell you about a guy to?
I think he's mentally strong. I mean, it didn't affect his confidence. I mean, I think he beat the ball back to the spot, and just his foot slipped, and he just ended up muffing it. Luckily, he recovered it and things, but that's going to happen in the return game and stuff, and it happens to everybody. It's regardless. I mean, the Hesters and all those people have had muffed punts and stuff, but he's confident in his abilities, and we're confident in him. I mean, we just went back and caught extra punts before and after practice, and just tried to run him and put him in those situations where he's got to run back and get those, and just try to recreate those situations and just get him corrected and things. And we did that, and like I said, he's been really good. So we haven't lost any confidence in him. I know he hasn't in himself.
Did you spend a lot of time scouting your potential opponents, or is that just too far down the road and you'll get?
Yeah, no, we spent this week. I mean, we self-scouted the first couple days of the week, and then the last few days we've been, looking at the potential opponents and things. I mean, we've broken them down and, started to take a look at them in each phase and just kind of develop an initial plan, see what their personnel's like, and see how things we want to do with matchups and those kind of things. And so we've developed a kind of an initial game plan for each one of them, and just kind of see how it falls, and we'll pick it back up on Sunday night as it all plays out.
With 16, I know there's more to do, but when you look at where you started from, you end 16 games, a huge reduction in penalties from a year ago. The kickoff coverage unit improved as it went. I don't know, how do you kind of feel about the way you and your staff, coming in new, was able to kind of do that and stabilize this to a degree?
Feel good about it. I mean, it's obviously we didn't finish where we want to and stuff. I mean, we were, there's a couple things we look at as far as different, places we look at and stuff that kind of factor in as far as, where you rank at in each phase, but they factor in wind and weather and indoor, outdoor, those kind of things and stuff. And, we were in the top 10 there for a while the last couple of weeks, and then we kind of dropped, and which was disappointing. I mean, I felt like we still played well the last couple games, but I know we improved from what was happening last year in that. I know we were, 10 or 11 spots higher, and I know the penalties were a lot less. I mean, I think we were counted for 13, but really one of those was a delay of game that we, plan on taking and stuff. So really we had 12 penalties on the season. So I think that would put us in the top 4 or 5 in the league and stuff after, I think, being pretty low last year and stuff. So I was proud of our guys. I mean, I think to me they've really bought into what we're trying to do, and they're playing hard for us, and really in each of those things we've seen improvement, and we're excited about where, obviously going into the playoffs, and then hopefully the future, what that leads to and stuff. Because now I think we're developing guys that are leaders, and I'm seeing more leadership step up. And once you create that culture where guys care about special teams and what's going on, then they start running it themselves. And when the players start running it themselves, you finally turn the corner and stuff. And I'm starting to see that a little bit and stuff. So excited about what the future leads to and stuff with those guys, because we had a lot of good young core players, and I think hopefully the future is bright.